Hello, everyone.
Sir, thanks for joining, sir. Yeah, Priyanka ji will be just starting it in a while. Dr. Priyanka?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you may
Can I
please.
start?
Yeah, you can please.
Okay. So a very good evening to everyone, to one and all. And on behalf of Manipal University, Jaipur, I would like to welcome and extend a warm welcome to all the dignitaries and the participants. Uh, Learn continually. There is always one more thing to learn, as given by Steve Jobs. Today, it's a need of the time that researchers and industry executives must be well versed with the tools and techniques of data analysis. They must not only have in-depth knowledge of the research methodology, but should also have skills of analyzing and interpretation of data collected. IBM SPSS is one of the important tools of data analysis, the know-how of which almost all industry executives as well as researchers should have. SPSS makes the empirical data collected useful and interpretable. Besides enhancing knowledge of research methodology, this EDP FDP will also provide the participants hands-on experiential learning of using SPSS, which in turn will enhance their skills of doing data analysis, making effective decisions, writing PhD thesis, and also publishing research papers in high-quality journals. The faculty members, scholars, and the industry executives, irrespective of their specialization, will be benefited by this FDP and EDP. It is our pleasure in this regard to welcome our dignitaries. In this context, first of all, I would like to welcome our esteemed HOD of BBA department, Dr. Birajit Mohanty. So, sir, can I have you? And I would like to hear from you. Can I have Mohanty, sir? Okay. So I think maybe due to some assignments and his busy schedule, I think he is not available right now. So not an issue. I would like
Priyanka
to.
ji, you can call Saurabh sir if he is there.
Yes, okay. Saurav sir is there. So in this regard, now I would like to call our HOD of Commerce Department, Dr. Saurav Sharma. Saurav sir, are you there? Dr. Saurav Sharma, sir.
Priyanka ji, just hold on. He will be
Yes.
joining. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I think he has joined.
Yeah,
Saurav sir is there. So, sir, we would like to hear from you. So, address
yes.
from you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Saurabh ji, you can unmute yourself, please.
Yeah. Now I am able to, because previously this uh, rights are not given. So thank you, Priyanka madam, and uh, I first welcome the Dean sir, Director sir, and Professor Manvinder Singh Pava for organizing this particular event. This particular event, I think, is one of the very useful for all the uh, even for the research scholars as well as for our faculty. So they just come to know about the fundamentals of how this particular softwares are used for taking sense from that particular data. So I again congratulate Dr. Professor Manvinder Singh Pava sir for conducting this EDP and FDP for the benefit of the students. And I see the response. So this is a very overwhelming response that we receive from across the India. We have around 70 participants who participate in this particular EDP and FDP. So I congratulate and wish all the best for this particular event going to be successful, and definitely within a 5 weeks, 5 days, they are able to learn a lot many things during this particular FDP. So thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Priyanka madam. Now, without wasting much of time, I think we should directly listen
Thank
the
you so
speaker
much,
and
sir, for your. Thank you so much, sir, for your encouragement and the words of wisdom. Thank you. And now Dr. Birajit Mohanty, sir, the HOD of BBA department is also there. So I would like to request you to address everyone here.
Thank you, Dr. Priyanka.
Thank you, sir.
So I welcome you all the participants to this 5 days workshop. So this 5 days workshops has been designed in such a way that you will all the participants will learn the nuisance of conducting a research, how to plan their research, and how to use different research tools for analysis, and how to write the research outputs. So these are the things which the participants will be learning over the period of 5 days. And I congratulate Dr. Pava for conceiving this idea and making it possible by hosting it for 5 days for the benefit of all the participants. And here, all the scholars and even the faculty members who have registered for this program will be benefited a lot, and they will also try to improve upon their research work, and this will also help them to publish their paper in good research journals. So Dr. Saurabh has already elaborated a lot on this aspect. So without wasting any further time, now I rest my speech here, and I thank all the participants, and I'll urge the participants to take the advantage of all the 5 days of this workshop and try to contribute by participating and taking advantage of this particular workshop. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words of wisdom and encouragement. Definitely, we would meet whatever your expectations are. Now, in this regard, I would also like to call the director of the department, Dr. Jawaharmal Jangir, sir, for some words of wisdom. Over to you, sir.
Yeah,
Sir,
okay.
I think you'll be able to.
Yes, sir, you can.
Unmute yourself.
Priyanka, yes, thank you. Thank you, Priyanka. I think both SODs, Saurabh Sharma and Birajit Mohanty actually have spoken. Actually, I was not planned to be speaking, but thanks, Priyanka, for inviting me. The only suggestion which I would like to give all the participants is that do not take this particular FDP or EDP just to focus on SPSS. Okay, but try and get the complete sense of research as such. What research is all about, and what is the importance of this. So SPSS is one very small part, but I think the concept of the entire research, from RM to research design to report writing, data collection, everything has been actually included. So I would suggest that all of you try and understand the very basic concepts about research. Okay, and SPSS definitely is one integral part, but try and get a clear understanding. But what we see, a very large number of scholars actually end up completing their PhD, but the basic concepts are actually not clear. So as Bijat Monty actually has brought out, actively participate and do not hesitate in asking your questions, however silly or small they may be. Because if you do not clear them now, these doubts will continue to linger on and you will have difficulty. So I suggest that you actively participate and do not leave any doubts at the end of the 5 days. So that's what I would like to say. Thank you, Priyanka. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words of wisdom. And definitely, I think all the researchers and all the participants would keep that in mind and go ahead with this session. Now I would like to call our esteemed Dean of Business School of Commerce, Business and Commerce, Dr. Sudendra Hanumanta Rao, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Priyanka, and thanks for not requesting me to share my words of wisdom, because today we want even the wisdom to flow from numbers. We really don't want to, we are not in a position where I can say, sit below a tree and say, okay, I had this wisdom. I need to back it up with numbers. So that's where we have reached. Earlier, we started off by saying that in natural sciences, we want to make things repeatable, hence we take recourse to numbers. If I touch a flame and I say it's 180 degrees, I have to record it's 180 degrees so that if somebody else touches the same flame, they also get burned by 180 degrees. That's how we thought we'll make things repeatable. As a next logical step, we're also trying to move into these areas of social phenomena and make our observations. And part of it is business. Business is nothing but a social phenomenon, and the decisions which flow. Even in our real life, we make a lot of decisions. And today, researchers like all of you have gathered here are being pushed into an area where you need to make your research repeatable. You find out something, and if somebody else does the same experiment, they will find out identical results. And to do that, we need numbers. We need to be able to gather numbers. The director referred to about collecting data. What is that? Collecting data is nothing but abstracting things into numbers. So there are excellent examples of converting social phenomena into numbers and dealing with them. Some of you may have read a book called Freakonomics. It takes things which affect us on a day-to-day basis, like how do we select a school? How do we go about choosing a life partner using the phenomenon of dating? So it has drawn conclusions about such social phenomena using numbers. So that is the importance of numbers and data analysis. In fact, I have a book with me written by a very eminent professor with a PhD from Princeton who has tried to prove that God exists with the support of numbers. He has taken various numbers from biological field, philosophy, probability, astronomy to come with a conclusion that life as it exists today can only happen with, say, one in a quadrillion type of probability. And since that number is so small, only an intelligent being could have created that. That's its basis. So even to prove the existence of God today, we don't trust God himself. We trust numbers. So that's the importance of numbers today in real life, and especially for us as researchers. When we find something today, we need to back it up. We need to back it up with numbers. We need to find the right methodology to analyze the numbers. For example, the way we analyze correlation in a sociological field like dating is very different from the way we analyze numbers when it comes to an equally obtuse sociological phenomenon like entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship too is subject to loss of probability, loss of investment, financial terms and conditions. But the way we associate probabilities in dating and is very different from the way we associate probabilities in entrepreneurship. When we come up with a business plan, when we come up with a path to profitability, various numbers, and likewise various aspects of the decision. Various aspects of businesses which are driven by decision today have to be backed by numbers. We want to, everybody is proud to say, that we are data driven. So that is the importance of data, and not just in real life, in research too, because in research, we actually go and study the phenomenon people have done. We study at what rate our customers are moving to smartphones, at what rate are they signing on into some of the new online banking systems. How do they do their transactions? At what rate are the number of transactions are increasing? And the other aspect of that is the numbers are becoming big. It's not just that I study 300. Remember, today we really cannot do an exhaustive study. We take 300 samples, 400 samples. We have various formulae to tell us that, okay, I'm finding 385 to be a favorable number. I have seen a lot of theses today where the sample size comes down to be 385 based on a formula. But the actual numbers on which these samples are drawn from are huge. In fact, many of you will be pleased to know that last year, thanks to our UPI, the UPI standards in micro payments, that phone payments we make using our smartphone, using Paytm and Phone Pay or whatever, the number of micro payments, India has now become number one in the world. We are doing more transactions than United States and China. Remember, those are the leaders in these, and the numbers we are looking at when we study phenomena like that are in billions and trillions. So this is simply impossible to comprehend, let alone deal with them. And data analysis using various tools gives us a way to do that. So when you study various phenomena in your part of your research, we will take recourse to number one, statistical methods and tools which handle these numbers of data. Its statistical methods don't tell how much data has to be there, but these big data analysis tools, the data analysis platforms, give us a good way of doing those things. We manually can no longer handle numbers like this. Those are the two key importance of this FDP today, that everything we do has to follow a methodology which is data driven, and the data is so huge that we need to take help from these tools to help us do it properly. And as it so happens, somehow ever since the days of General Motors, Ford and Chrysler, we are in the age of big three. We are noticing that every phenomena, every domain of business has three big players. So likewise, in analytics also, the three big players today are SAS, R and SPSS. So I am glad that the team from Faculty of Management and Commerce, Dr. Pava and the other members of the team have chosen one of the key tools, which is one of the big three today. So if you master this tool, not only will it help your research work, it will also help you further in your other endeavors. When you want to go back to industry, when you want to go back and consult in the industry while remaining an academic, SPSS is a good tool to know. It's one of the big three today. So on every front, as you look, this is an important endeavor. I hope all of you get the best benefit out of that over the next 5 days. And I congratulate Dr. Pava and his team for having come up with this idea and executing it to its perfection. Wish you all the best over the event, and thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And sir very rightly added, it's all about numbers and it is gaining a lot of importance. So we'll try to make this EDP, FDP a wonderful one, and we definitely try our best to make participants and all those who are attending to add some value to it. So thank you so much, sir, for your words. And now it's my heartiest pleasure to welcome and introduce our resource person and the convener of this EDP and FDP, Dr. Manvinder Singh Pava. Just a brief introduction about him. He's an alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad and an eminent academician with a rich experience of 22 years, which is a rare blend of academic, industry, corporate consultancy, and research. His area of expertise is corporate finance and business law. Besides his graduation, post-graduation, LLB, and PhD from Mohanlal Sukadia University, Udaipur, he is professionally qualified as an associate member of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. He has also earned 3 years integrated LLM MBA with gold medal. Dr. Pava has conducted and delivered more than 135 specialized courses and faculty development programs for a number of government and private institutions, including AICT, ICSSR, UGC-sponsored FDPs, UGC HRD, refresher course, orientation program throughout the country on research methodology, pedagogy, and personal effectiveness and work ethics, SPSS and financial modeling. He has participated at numerous national international conferences, chaired the session in India and abroad, and his 70 research papers are published in referred national and international journals, including Scopus, conference proceedings, and books. 6 PhD scholars have already been awarded PhD under his guidance, and 8 more are pursuing. From last 7 years, he is working with Manipal University, Jaipur, and is presently Professor of Finance in School of Business and Commerce. So I welcome you, sir, and I would like to hand over the session to you. So welcome to Manvinder Pava, sir. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot, Priyanka ji, for giving an introduction. Yeah, so as our Dean sir has just now told that the coming time is of decision making, and decision has to be data driven. and so as is this FDP, and I'm thankful to him and our directors are also that they have graced the event and they have given us the blessings. And for sure, sir, and sir, we assure you, sir, that this FDP will definitely bring means value addition to the people, those who have joined it, and they will definitely see a change in their, not only in the thought process of the way they do research, but also they will learn about how to use SPSS in order to analyze the data and do the better things. Yeah. So at this outset, I would like to just start the presentation without wasting much of the time. That what is much awaited too. And so let us just start it. And meanwhile, because the first question is what is research? So those who want to answer it, and one request from my side to all of you, that whenever we are interacting, please keep your cameras on, at least when we are you know answering or asking the questions. So that is one of the things which is must for everyone to do, right? So keep your cameras on while we are interacting and while we are doing the things. And whenever you have a question, please just ask at the moment itself. Raise your hand, and it will be you will be allowed to use your mic, and then you can ask the question there itself wherever you feel that you want it to be answered. Right, so that is how it will be. So the first most question I am asking everyone: what is research? So those who want to answer this, please raise your hand. Meanwhile, I will upload my presentation. Yes. Priyanka ji, I hope you will take care of the people who want to answer the question. Right? What is research from your point of view? Anyone? Yes. Any hand raised? Yes. Of course. Yeah, Manish Sharma, would you like to answer this? Yes, Manish ji, you can unmute yourself and you can answer this.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Manisha Sharma. And so the research is revisiting oneself, like revisiting the facts and the data which have already been established, relooking into the things.
Okay. What else? Anyone else? Can we unmute the mic for everyone for the time being? Priyanka ji?
Sir, I have done that. I've already allowed mic for everyone.
Yeah. Please allow the mic for everyone for the time being, so that if some disturbances is there, then you can unmute it. Dr. Rajani, can you please answer? Can you please give your view?
This is Dr. Rajani Sagar. I hope I'm audible.
Yeah, of course. Please carry on.
Yes, research. Sir, according to me, research is search for knowledge.
Okay. What else?
Or it's a fact-finding process.
Fine. Search of knowledge. Great. Search of new set of knowledge, we can say. Or if you are doing research, there has to be some contribution to the existing knowledge, you say, right?
Yes, sir.
Great. That's great. Yeah. Who else? Jamnandini ji. Can you please?
Nandini, yes, sir.
Yeah.
So research is basically something to find a solution, solution of a problem.
Okay. Is find a solution of a problem. So research is because there has to be some problem. And what will happen if there is no problem?
So it's not possible in our environment
So people say that sometimes if you don't have problem, create it and then solve it. So so that may be one of the ways of doing research. Is that so?
No, sir, it's not like that. But if there is some problem, we find a possible solution, and I can say an optimum solution for that by
Okay.
research.
So optimum solution is the key word over here. You can say optimum
Yes,
solution means there may be a number of solutions available, but if you approach towards the optimum solution means that will actually, you can say that this is a proper answer to the question which is there, and the question is the research question which has come from the research problem itself, right? So
yes, sir.
that is one. Yeah, great, Nandini ji. Yeah,
Thank you.
Dharmendra ji, Mr. Dharmendra Jha.
Good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon.
From my perspective, research is something exploring something new from the existing, as many of the people have advocated.
Okay, something new.
Yes.
Great, great. So, but people means new means what? Means in what sense it is new?
Some solution domain from the existing proposed solution, the better one that we can propose to the society.
Okay, 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 fine. Great, great. Thank you. Dr. Rajani, you want to say something, ma'am?
Sir, I answered it already. That
Your hand is
research
still
is
raised.
search for knowledge.
I thought you want to answer something more or you want to contribute. Actually, your hand is, as soon as you
Achha,
answer, please lower down
sorry,
your
sir.
hands.
Sorry,
Yeah, you know, it's no, no, not at all a problem. Mr. NM Mittal, Neha 09.
Good afternoon, sir. Research is just to investigating a new facts. Investigating a new facts.
Investigating the new facts. If you will investigate the new fact, then where you will land up. That is the thing. It is new facts are, you can say, it is not investigating. Whatever you are investigating are the facts available, but you are coming up to new solution. That is one.
Yes, sir.
Am I correct? Or you mean the same thing which I have just now told?
Yes, sir. I mean the same thing. What you are saying.
Okay, okay, that's great. So we will be discussing something about the research. So let me just take you to presentations.
Sir, may I?
Yeah. Please carry on.
Sir, research is a scientific and systematic process of finding solution to any problem. Or
okay.
It's like research, searching again to bring the innovations and new dimensions to any answer or any problem.
Excellent, excellent. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So what a research is, if we see it from a novice perspective, the research can be defined as a search of knowledge. Just now, this has been, just please make a note of what else, because there will be a quiz afterwards and you may have to do it, and it is compulsory for everyone to attend the quiz and at least answer the things in that way, right? So please be very vigilant when you are here. So everyone should be 100% here. Yeah. So from the novice perspective, if you say it is something which is defined as a search of the knowledge, and even in Oxford Dictionary, it is systematic investigation and study of materials and sources in order to establish the facts and reach the new conclusions. Right. So this is a systematic investigation. So investigation of what? The material facts and the sources which we already have, and to reach a new conclusions out of it, right? So if you are, even if you are investigating some old things, but if you are having some new methodology to investigate, it will take you to some good things. So that is again a new reach, right? So research is pursued with most of the professions, you can say, right? So, and whatever may the profession be, whatever we are, we have to ask ourselves a lot of questions regarding that. For example, let us consider that when we are running a hotel. So what will happen? So what will be the things which will come in our mind if we have to increase the business of the hotel? So the things which will come in mind is, how many customers do I treat daily? What are the dishes which are being served? or which combo meal is the most popular one. What time does a particular meal hits the maximum order? How the customer rate the services, and what is the average price a customer is spending on the dish, right? So there can be, these are just examples. There can be n number of things when we are going to, you can say, run a business. So on whatever things the data can be gathered, those things can be helpful for us in order to find a way which we are finding, right? So we can, by finding the answers to these, what we can do is we can have a very valid investigation, right? And this will truly help the person who is investigating in order to come to a solution that if my business is not working well, what should I do? Or if it is already working well, what should I do to improvise it? So totally depends on that what can be the solution part to it. So more than a set of skill, it is a critical way of observing, examining, thinking, and questioning, and also formulating principles that hold true at least for a given space of time. And almost all the profession, they affirm the need of research either for the advancement of the technology, art, or business, or enlightenment of the knowledge itself. Right? So whatsoever across any profession, anything, you will find that people are looking forward for some good solution, and they do not stop at a time when they achieve one target or one objective. They keep on struggling for the betterment, and that what is the research, and that actually has made the research alive, because we keep on doing the things, we keep on observing the things, and we keep on having those things that because innovation is going on at every moment of time and new. Just take an example of the light, right? So bulb was invented, and then afterwards, after a long time, we had tube light with us, and then after tube lights, we have the CFLs, which has reduced. Now, what is the question? The question over here, the research question over here is that can we get more light by less consuming the electricity? The time has come when we are having LEDs with us. Now there may be some more researches going on that what will be the solution to the LED in the near future. So this is what the research is. So research is actually making the things easier and also making the things available at a cheaper cost, or you can say, so whatsoever is a research question with us, it actually drives us that where we want to go further, right? Now, Redman and Morey, they have defined that it is a systemized effort to gain the knowledge. Further, some professionals or you people professionals consider research as a movement from the known to the unknown. So this is one of the things which is very, very important, you can say, because whatever is, we start our research with whatever is known to us and we approach towards whatever is unknown. So it is something revealing the unknown out of the known. That is what the research is. So it is actually a voyage of a discovery with a pleasure and a satisfaction. So what type of pleasure and what type of satisfaction is with the researcher? So if the researcher has proud in displaying what he has done, then you can say there is a satisfaction, and then we can say there is a research. So while considering research as an academic activity, it involves a lot of steps, such as problem, or you can say defining a problem, solving a problem. You can do a literature review. You can go for data collection, drawing inferences out of it, and making the hypothesis, arriving at the solution. But at the same time, it has to be meaningful. It has to end with some satisfaction. And when satisfaction is there, pleasure follows, right? So it's like that. So what a research is further. So is research concerned with gathering information from the books or the other sources? Or is the transportation of knowledge from one person, one form to another constitute a good research? Right? So in short and simple, we can define the research as it is a systematic process of collecting and analyzing the information in order to increase our understanding of the phenomenon about which we are concerned, interested. So actually research is not confined to science, engineering, technology, or you can say just coming up with some new things, or means it is not only concerned with these. Previously, the research was only concerned with this, what new or what innovative things, or what is the innovation which has happened in the world. Now the research area covers many disciplines such as business, commerce, history, you can say sociology, linguistic, means you say what not. So whatever may the subject be, it covers and interprets or revises the facts, events, behaviors, theories. New theories are being promulgated. Right? So the ultimate outcome of the research enhances the quality of the human being. This is something which has to be there, and this is the ultimate target a research must have. If the quality of life, quality of human life is not enhanced in any of the way, the research whatsoever we are doing may all be in vain, right? And for this, we have to adopt a process. So ultimate, the key word over here, that while defining the research, we must define it in such a way that it is there to enhance the quality of the human life. That's what the research is. And research process itself is a combination of, you can say, study, experiment, observations, analysis, designing the reasoning, or means a lot of things. Right, so it is just a combination, or you can say these are the goals which have to be, these are the targets which have to be achieved one by one in order to achieve what you are doing in the form of research. Right, so we all know that smoking of cigarette is injurious to health. Right, now how do we know that? How we have come to a conclusion that smoking of cigarette is injurious to health? How have we come to know that X-rays can take external images? These are the very two basic examples. These all are the outcomes of the research. Now, these all have actually what we have called is that it has enhanced the quality of the human life. It has given answers to those things which the people were finding from a very long time. So research provides, it's a precise prediction of the events, you can say. It can be explanation of the facts and the theories and various other information which is a help to the humanity. So most important thing over is that a contribution of research has to be, a research will be completed only when you say that it is contributing at least a delta to the humanity. So when I teach my students in my university for their PhD coursework, I have just told them that you have to plan your research in such a way that how will you be able to contribute towards the humanity or one or the other way to the society. So they have to address it. So all the researches whatsoever we are doing, we must not do the research just for the sake of doing it. Are we doing? Our director sir has last time when he was addressing our PhD scholars, they have told just don't do PhD just for getting a tick over it, but you must it force bringing some change in the human life. Then only your research will be contributed, and at the same time, then only you will feel satisfied, and then only you will be able to, you can say, raise your head with proud that yes, I own it, I have done it. So that what the research is, and research process must be like that, right? Many things are written in the books, but how we interpret it and how we actually apply to our real world is more important. Now, as we have talked about engineering and scientific research also, so social, scientific and engineering research is focused on the mathematical models and theories. An output of an engineering research can be a product, process, or even a methodology. Thus, the engineering research can be explained in the two worlds, that is to explore and to develop. So these are the two, not only two words, but these are the two worlds where we can explore, keep on exploring and keep on developing the things. If you try to understand this, you can understand it with this help of this small diagram. That methods, strategies, and skills are there, and there are certain engineering tools, and you reach to the problem instances. This problem instances will again rise the theories and will again improve the strategy. So we can say it's a cyclic type of process which keep on going. And we all as a human being, we are getting benefit of engineering and scientific research in our daily life. Now this IoT has come, right? By the time you have seen, the time will come then when big data will be there. So data is not only the data which we find it in a tabular form, but data is something which everything is data in this world. So what are the qualities of the big data? What it actually is? It is velocity, variety, right, and volume. Because these three things all combined together, then only the big data is called big data, just because of the volume of the data which you are receiving. Just imagine the time will come when the analysis will be done, not only of the numbers which we have, but with the postures, gestures, videos, audios, all done at a time. And that the time has already started, because we have the softwares like Hadoop, or you can say through the advanced R programming, we can analyze big data and come to a conclusion which is helpful for the society as such. So social research at the same time is also equally important. The social research is concerned what is conducted by the social scientists through a systematic plan, which is qualitative and quantitative dimension, which is given by these researchers. They give the dimensions to it. Why? Because there is something in the social science which is not measurable. Just now Dean sir was telling about that people have their own perception, that how will you measure the perception, right? So that scales development and all these things are there in social research, and which includes your statistics, political science, sociology, media studies, market research. So these all are the things which are directly related to the society, right? This again, here in this sampling is one of the key areas in the social research process, because with the help of the sampling itself, we will be able to collect the data from the huge populations, and then we can replicate the results to the population, which is one of the most important thing. Scientific research includes those investigations which are utilized in acquiring the new knowledge, or correcting or integrating the previous existing knowledge whatsoever with us. So there has to be, again, it also says that there has to be a addition in the existing knowledge, or you can say whatever the set of theories you have to enhance it. The great thing which is there. So if I ask all of you that is human an asset? So we just keep on writing that means in the recommendation letters that falana person is asset to the organization. So do we mean it, or is it only on the papers? How human assets will be treated? Humans will be treated as an asset as such. And are the humans being treated as an assets in the organizations? Is there any valuation of the human beings going on? Who are there, who are contributing for the organization? This is a big question. And it's a contribution to the world if somebody does the research on it, and fortunately this is going on. Scientific. So basically scientific research, actually it forms the questions, prepares the hypothesis, makes the prediction, and tests the observations, and finally analyzes the investigated results. So formal science, you can say physical science, life sciences, social sciences, applied sciences, interdisciplinary sciences are some of the types of the scientific research going on. So what a research is, what a problem is, we were just discussing about what the research is. I have just listened to the views that it is something, answer to a problem. But I would ask what the problem is, where the problem will come. And somebody correctly told that problems are all over the world. If I ask you, is there anyone who is not having a problem? I don't think any hand will be raised over here to just say that we don't have any problem anywhere, anytime. So the question now is to how to resolve it. So one problem can have multiple dimensions, right? Now it totally depends on how we see it, how we see the problem, and what the problem actually arising is. I was just giving example to my students of my PhD in the class that if there is a ditch on the road and you are going with a scooter and your tire has entered that ditch on the road itself, what will happen? And there is a sprain in the neck. Now see what will be the points of views from the for that. Is this a problem or not? It's a common problem of everywhere that we do not have good roads. So from the civil engineer point of view, there will be problem of the material. You will find that there is the problem of is in the material itself, and that's why because of the poor material being used on the road, this hole has happened. Now the person who has already entered into it has got a sprain in his neck. So for him, for a doctor or for a medical practitioner point of view, there will be a problem of that maybe some you can say some ligament might have ruptured or something like that has happened in the neck, but ultimately there is a pain. From other point of view, if you see that from psychological point of view, somebody would say that this person might have got fighting with his wife today, and that's why he couldn't see there is a ditch and he entered it. So is this a problem? Is this being frequently going on? So every perspective there will be one solution to it. There may be a problem from the mechanical engineer point of view that the shockers of that particular vehicle in which he is traveling, which has entered the ditch, had the shockers been properly, adequately placed, or the quality of the shockers had this been the quality of the quality of the shockers, and then this person would never have sprain in his neck. So problem is one, but the perspectives are many, right? So how this perspective actually comes up? This happens when we are having our own points of view and we have our own domains, and we see it from that point of view. The problem is same, problem may be same, but we will see it from the point of view in which the way we are seeing it, because we have studied those domains. A person who is a person of a psychology cannot understand or will not see it from the point of view of a mechanical engineer, that there may be some problems in the shocker of the scooter. A person who is seeing from the point of view of shockers of the scooter may not be having any psychological or civil engineering point of view, but the problem is same, and the point of view, the way of seeing the problem is different, and it is different for the different type of people which are there in the question. So problems are there. Now the time is to get the solution out of it, and the solution will be there. And this particular workshop which we are doing is an attempt to solve it to some extent. Yeah. So any question or any contribution from anyone would like to just have that. If anyone wants to contribute, can do that. Yes. Or if you want to say something. Yeah, Dharmendra ji, you have raised your hands, or is the hand is being raised before too? Okay, you have lowered down. Any question or any submission or anything you would like to say, please tell. Or yes, any contribution from anyone? No? Okay. So I hope this is taken as such whatsoever is the meaning of research. But please tell me, has this opened up some insights in you that what research is? Or if you would like to say something about it. Anyone? People are still joining, I can see. Yeah. Yes, Mr. NM Mittal.
Yes, sir. There is a question in my mind that is this definition is right that research is a systematic process of collecting.
Please on your video.
Sir, my video is on.
Your video is.
Hello.
Yeah.
My video
Yes,
is on already. Sir, my question is that is this definition is right for the research, that the research is a systematic process of collecting and analyzing information in order to increase our understanding of phenomena. It is actually we ever heard that research like but is it like research is an understanding or increasing in in ourselves?
Nehaji, some problem I think from your end. Your voice is cutting a lot in between.
Okay, sir. I'll ask the question in the class. I think there is some problem connection.
You just stop your video and then tell. I think that will be okay because it might be using some data.
Yes, it might be there is some problem. I'll ask this question in the class. I think so. It is better. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's proceed further. Okay. So let us proceed further with our SPSS part. So before I start, I would like to ask someone if someone can answer what actually SPSS is. Anyone? What is SPSS? Yes.
Sir, statistical package for social sciences.
Okay. Statistical package for
social sciences.
Mahesh ji.
Yes, sir.
Very good. What else? Anyone else?
Sir, it's a tool used for data analysis.
Okay, so Mahesh ji has just now told us about what is the full form of SPSS, I suppose. Yes, Mahesh ji?
Yes, sir.
But I can't see you actually. Yeah, Neha ji, you want to say something? Okay. Yeah, yes, ma'am. Neha, you want to say something? Okay, anyways. So, Mahesh sir, the IBM has actually changed it now. Okay. So let me, yeah. So for sure, I will be, so what actually SPSS is, it is now changed to, the full form has now been changed to Statistical Product and Service Solution. Now, why it has done it? Because there is a lot of competition in the market, and previously the statistical package for social science, this particular word was actually delimiting, or you can say it was limiting on the scope of SPSS for scientific studies also, whereas the tests which are there, which it is using, it is widely used across all the disciplines, right? So this is a new name which is being given, Statistical Product and Service Solution, which is now there, right? So it's a powerful tool that is capable of conducting just about any type of data analysis used in social sciences, natural sciences, or in the business world, you can say. So I would say while this mathematics is generally considered to be a language of the science, the data analysis is a language of the research, right? So, and this workshop will tell you that how we will be making the data analysis more comprehensible and less toxic. That will be the research. Yeah. Before we start further, because now we will be starting with this SPSS, may I just know that what are your expectations out of this workshops? Can a couple of people, if you can tell me about that, I would be grateful. Yeah. What is your expectation out of this workshop? Anyone? Yes. Anyone? Yeah. Neha, please tell. So more people, if more you will interact, it will be good for you also and for me also. So please do not hesitate. And let me tell you one thing over here. No question is a silly question. And please be with me. More you will interact, not only you will gain, but with your help, everyone else will also gain. And that what is the purpose of doing this workshop. So yes, Neha ji, you tell that what are your expectations, and if you will tell your expectations behind it, I will be able to fulfill it. If you will not tell anything, then fine, whatsoever I have, I will just present it in front of you. So please tell as much as possible. Yes, Neha, please tell.
Sir, actually, our expectation is to know what we are going. Hello. Hello. Yes,
Yeah.
our expectation to know how about the. About the software, that is SPSS.
Okay, that is
We
for sure.
want to, we are very curious to know about the software actually.
Fine, fine. Surely you will be able to understand that, and that's a promise to you that not only you will be able to understand that, you will be able to use it fluently, right? So that's a promise
Yes.
from my side. At least for the basic
Yes, sir.
test, for
That is what,
whatsoever is the agenda of the workshop.
that is what we all know.
Thank you, Neha ji. Yeah, Dharmendra ji, what is your expectation, sir?
Sir, actually, to understand what this tool is and how, where it can be applicable to help for analyzing data and coming some conclusion from that data. So this will be my expectation.
Fine, that's great. That's great. Yes, Dr. Rajani.
Yes, sir. My simple expectation is how simply we use MS Excel. So I want to get friendly with SPSS also, so that whenever it comes to data analysis, I want to use it freehand without any hassle.
Let me tell you one thing. SPSS is much more handy than Excel, particularly when you are talking about data analysis and analytics, right? So this for sure, and your expectation for sure will be fulfilled, right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So who else? RJ Katiyarji.
Sir, very good evening.
Very good evening.
Actually, sir, being a novice guy as far as the research thing is concerned. Sir, am I audible enough?
Video on.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please on your video. We are not able to see you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, now am I audible and visible enough?
Yes, sir. Please.
Sir, being a novice, as far as the research things are concerned, so I just wanted to enhance my research skills and want to learn more about the research thing and tools so that I could also, excel in the same arena. That is why I just joined this exercise today.
Great. Yeah. So thank you, and may I know from where do you belong to?
Sir, actually, I am from Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh.
Great.
Yeah.
Mahesh sir, you are from where?
Sir, you are asking to me. I am from Jodhpur, sir.
Okay. Great.
Presently, I am a research scholar in Janaran Vyas University, and as well as I am a lecturer at State Institute of Hotel Management, sir.
Great. That's great. That's really great.
Sir, my expectation from this course is to know how the tests are applied and how their inferences are written in the research paper. So, in fact, I'm trying to see the lots of videos on YouTube, and even I'm getting the ideas, but still I'm not able to do, how to write those, results. So that is my.
So whatever test we will be applying, you will be able to interpret.
Actually, I'm from the background of hotel management, so I have not studied the statistics. So I'm trying to learn these things. So exactly, I do not much about those tests, sir.
No problem.
That is my case, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine. Don't worry, and please keep asking questions whenever you feel that you are not able to understand. You can stop me in between, no problem. Yes, Neha, you want to say something more?
No, sir. That is all about from my side.
Okay. Your hand was actually still it is raised. So.
Actually, sir, there is no option shown in my phone.
Where you have where the hand actually is raised, there itself you can lower it down. Anyways, so let us just start this presentation, particularly on SPSS. So before we start, there are certain things which we have to understand and which we have to know also, right? So these are the objectives. I hope this will fulfill all your expectations. It is to be aware of the normal statistical procedures, right? And to learn data entry and then analyzing it using SPSS for decision making, and to strengthen the research base by learning the computer-based skill that is SPSS for what we are here now. Now this is the agenda. We will be starting with the basics, and then we will be creating a data file, and then managing and manipulating of data. The manipulation of data we will go with. We will use the frequencies and the descriptives and the cross tabulation also, and finally we will be going with some of the tests which are basic in nature. This is Priyanka ji, can you please mute everyone for the time being?
5:30 बजे
Or otherwise mute those people who are actually talking.
मेरा उस हिसाब से फैकल्टी ले रहे हैं एक मेरा उस हिसाब से बहुत काम की लग रही है मेरे को अरे आज तो नहीं तो लैपटॉप में लेता भी है SPSS सॉफ्टवेयर स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं जो लेता मैं लैपटॉप
So this is how we start the SPSS actually. So this is, I have prepared it in Windows XP long back. So this is a way. Otherwise, what the thing is, you can directly click on the icon and it will be started. The icon will be there on your desktop itself, and you can start it. And when you start it, you can just start. Everyone, please start your SPSS instantly, so that now you will be able to see the screen and other things. Dr. Priyanka, are you there still? Or you have left? Dr. Priyanka, Dr. Shweta. So this is the startup screen when you start SPSS. So your startup screen will look like this, right? So at the beginning, you will see this type of box when you start it up. If you have existing files, then these files will be here in this particular window, and you can. But this will happen only if you have existing files of SPSS with you. But if you do not have existing files, then this will be empty, right? So if this is again, if you want to open any file here, you can directly open it. But I have already told you that if you are very new to SPSS and you do not have any file on it, there will be no existing files and you have to create a new one. And there are certain things which we have to understand before creating the new file. So I hope you have you all are already on with your SPSS. Yeah, here one thing I would recommend, because this is the very first day when we are starting it up, and I would recommend all of you to use two screens, right? On one screen you can see my video, which I will be displaying from here, and on other screen where you have installed SPSS, you keep on doing. That's why. Otherwise, there is no use of doing this hands-on workshop, right? So whenever you have the other screen, you start doing your hands-on with that particular screen. So whatever steps is being taken from the screen one, you can do it on screen two where SPSS is installed. So I have told you, you just double-click it, and you will be able to see this as such window which will be opening it up, right? So this is a thing which we can cancel this window, and this is the file which you see, or you can say this is the initial data screen of SPSS, right? So there are some menu commands. You can see some menu commands over here, and there's a toolbar icon. Variables are there, which are horizontally available, and this is subject and the case numbers are there. Then there are some empty cells besides. There is a data view and a variable view over here. If you see data view and variable view, it is the two things. Now, if we proceed further with each and every toolbar functions, this is this function to open the file, to save the file, to print a file, you can say. Further, to recall a recently used commands, and both of these buttons are really the life-saving buttons. You can say undo or redo buttons. So we just expect this undo and redo. Had this been in our lives also, the life have made we would have made our life heavenly, right? So, but in life, real life, we cannot redo and undo. But in case of your SPSS, or you can say Excel also, these buttons are there where we can redo and undo, and this will still make our life a little bit easier. So this is to go to a particular case, to a particular variable if you want to go for. This is to get information about a variable. And if you want to run descriptive statistics, this is helpful. This is to search a data. And if you want to insert new cases, you can use this in order to insert new variables. You can say these are there to split the files in the subgroups, and to weight the files, this icon is there. To select the cases, this is one of the very, very important button, which is called value labels, from where you can see the codes which you have assigned to the categorical variable, which will be visible just by pressing this button. You can toggle between 1 and A, just to see the type of icon it itself shows it what it actually does. You have user defined variable sets, and you show all the variables with the help of this, and this is the spelling check type of thing which you can do using this, right? There are menu bar functions also. File and edit functions, this is mostly as same as that you find it in Excel, right? So these two things are almost the same things which are there in the Excel itself, right? So this is another thing which is there, which is called a view. You can say it comprises of certain options which can if you want the screen to be viewed like that, so it can even your value labels, which is a button over there up in your toolbar itself, you find a similar button over there. Further, this is further there is a this menu called data. So from here the things will start, which is unique in SPSS as compared to your MS Excel. If you see SPSS, it seems like Excel itself because there are columns and rows, but there is a difference. I will be coming to the difference of SPSS and this Excel itself, right? So here, this data actually is required for operation related. You can say defining, or you can say configuring or entering the data. This also deals in sorting the cases, merging. So we will be using this data function maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, when we will be using this SPSS in order to run our analysis or other things. Transform is also one of the things when you are struck with coding and recoding of the things, or you have to recompute or compute some new variables. This is something which is helpful. Further, if you see this button is analyze. So the most important button, or you can say the most important menu in the SPSS is analyze. And this is the most frequently used also, because if you press this, you will get a long menu of whatsoever test you want to apply. So these all tests are available over there. If you have already on your SPSS, go on analyze and just click it, and then you will be able to see that what SPSS can do is an analyze, because the main purpose of SPSS is to analyze the things, right? Further, this is for the direct marketing. It uses the direct marketing tools, not that much helpful for us, and at the moment we will not be using this. Further, this is for preparation of the graphs. Utilities are there, which actually deals with sophisticated ways of making the complex data operation easier. These are the add-ons. So SPSS actually provides add-ons for doing the advanced statistics, which these add-ons are actually sold separately by the SPSS itself. Okay. For example, if you want to go for structural equation modeling, there is an add-on which is called AMOS. So AMOS is nothing but an add-on to the SPSS, which can be there. So in order to install AMOS, you must have SPSS with you, then only you can do it. So these are the add-ons. Windows is there, in order which deals in the position of the window. There's not of much use. And the most important tool over here is the help tool, which is really helpful. So it provides the aid with the searching capabilities. You can find some tutorials. Even it will be a statistical coach to some extent, right? So next is the creating of a data file in SPSS. So before we start, I will be showing you 2 slides, and let me see who answers the question, right? So I'm just, please concentrate, and I will be showing you 2 slides, and let me see if you can distinguish between 2, right? And here we go. So what were the different
variable view?
Yeah, who is this? Please tell your name.
Rajini Shrisagar, sir.
Okay, Dr. Rajini. So what it was?
Data view and variable view, 2 windows were there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So these are the data view. These are the 2 major screens of SPSS analysis. And if you see, there are only these 2 things. Only 2, you can say, sheets are there. In Excel, we call it as a sheet. So in Excel, we can open n number of sheets. But here in SPSS, we have only 2 sheets. One is called data view and another is called variable view, right? So data view and variable view are these things. So let us just understand about this. So when we go on the data view, so if you see, there is a you can say over here, you can see it, there is a yellow that it shows that data view is on. So data view is a screen which is used to enter the data. Okay, so this at present this particular view is showing empty because no data is we have not entered any data. Now, if you carefully observe, there are on the horizontal side where in Excel ABCD is written, here VAR is written, right? So before entering the data into this data table, the variables we have to define, right? So SPSS needs to know the name of the each variable, and these names will be inserted at the top of the column of the data table, and you will be asked to just fill the data on the basis of the variables, right? So in addition, it is required to give SPSS some other information about each variable also. And this process of defining the variable is undertaken in the next sheet, which is called variable view. So now if you see, this yellow has gone to the variable view itself, right? So if the variable view tab is clicked, it can be noticed that the columns are now headed as name, type, width, decimal, label, values, right? And we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now here, the vertical 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the number of variables which you will be introducing, right? So in the variable view of this of the data table, and the variables are arranged down the side of the table, and each column actually gives the information about the variable. For example, the column headed name, it actually tells you about the name of the variable itself, and the column type will you have to define that type of variable, and SPSS will be told about what type of variable, what type of the name is there, means whatever variable you have named, what is actually the type of the same, right? So this is there in the variable view. So first you have to define the variable, and then you have to define that how this variable view, how you have to enter the data in the variable view, right? Now further we will be understanding how to set up the variables, because this is, I have already told that this is something which is there. So for this, can you please click on the variable view tab? Everyone please click on the variable view tab, because this view will be used to set up each type of the variables. So if you click the variable view tab, you will be able to understand that what are the attributes which are unique for each and every variable. It has to be defined with the SPSS. And before proceeding further, we need to understand these variables, these things which are associated with each type of variable, right? And the attributes are, first itself is the name of the variable. So if we see, variable name is the first attribute, which is the first thing which is required to be done to give the name of the variable. For example, the variable, what actually variable is? Variable is something which varies across the respondents, or which varies across the cases which we are considering as such. If the cases are the respondents from where we are collecting the data, so the respondents will be the cases. And if the cases are the experimental things, suppose for example, for instance, for a first instance, I have done some analysis in the laboratory. So this is the instance number 1. So it might be having some variables which I may have to collect data, right? For example, in the first very instance, while doing the research in the laboratory, temperature may be one data, humidity can be one data, the material used and the proportion of materials used can be the other data which I may be requiring. So I have to define each and every variable with certain attributes, right? So a variable name that makes sense has to be written. One should not forget that, right? So whenever you are putting a variable name, then you have to see, and it should be equally small enough to just go for. But there are certain rules to write the variable name. So there are 2 rules about it. First, they must start with the letter of the alphabet. It must not be a number. And secondly, they cannot contain spaces or some characters such as colons, semicolons, hyphens, commas. These are not allowed. But yeah, underscore is allowed. So if a valid variable name is entered, the SPSS will warn. So if invalid, if you are doing something invalid, the SPSS will warn you that you are doing something wrong. Okay. And if you want to actually have the space, you can use underscore. But as a rule, in variable name, when you are defining, do not use any spaces. And even if you try to use any space, just write name of respondent. It will show you an error. Okay. Next is your variable type. If you see the variable view, we all are on the variable view screen now, right? So please see. So next is your variable type. Because let me tell you, this particular things are very, very important to understand so that we can do a data entry in a better way, which may be studying, which we will be doing tomorrow. So today you will be getting one quiz also. Along with that, I will give you one sheet. Okay, so this all will be forwarded to you on your WhatsApp group, and from there you can just go for the data entry with the help of that particular sheet, right? So here the variable type is there. So what type of variable it is? So if you click on the type, you will find that there are the SPSS can handle different types of the variables, right? For example, variable can be numeric, which contains a number. It can be string. It can be even the dates, right? So type column is used to indicate what type of variable it is. Okay, and the type itself is set to numeric by default unless it is changed, right? So the variable type can be changed by clicking the numeric. It will then show the types of the variable. So if you will click over here as such on this yellow, you will find this type of thing, and you can just see what are the various types in which the SPSS deals in. So these can be the various types. It means your data can be numeric, it can be dot, scientific notation, date, dollar, right? So these are the things where you can go with. Okay, now further it is strongly recommended to use only numeric variables. It is because it is very easy to use numbers to represent the categories, and this will save the trouble later, right? So it is good to just, for example, you have to give numbers 1 and 2, it can be used rather than male and female to record the gender, and that what is needed also, right? So we will be understanding that, right? So as we have seen before, the variable type dialog box actually allows the user to set the width and the decimal places also. If you see this is something which is there, width and decimal places. This is also there, right? If you see it over here, it actually tells you about the width and the places. Now this is already there, and the variable width and the decimal places can also be adjusted in this width variable width and decimal places column which is there, right? And these settings actually you can say are there to means it actually, though it doesn't affect the way it is the value is stored, but it actually you can say it makes the decimal places which is used in the statistical calculations, right? So but it will not affect the calculations as such, right? So suppose for example the numeric data with default setting is 8 if you see, and the decimal setting is 2 as such, right? So this data, for example, is there. So it will be, if you have entered some data more than this, it will adjust itself to this. So this might look like untidy because if you have more decimal places afterwards, and sometimes if decimal places is of no use, you still have to remove that and you have to make it 0 as such. For example, if we put decimal places and the data is categorical and you have put the variable as a gender, so there will be no use of putting 1.5 over there or 1.00 because there will be no decimal place, because 1 means male and 2 means female and 3 may be transgender, right? So this is actually a categorical variable which is taken as such. Next is the label. If you see the next thing in the this data view is the label. So this is the 5th column in the variable view, not in the data view. It is headed as a label, and the column is used to enter the variable label. So now what a label is, right? So a label is something which you want the variable to be defined. Remember, we have just talked that in variable, the name of the variable should be very, very small. But in label itself, it is the label which you put on a variable. Means now here you can explain the variable in 1 or 2 or 3 words also. But it is again recommended that it should be pretty, you can say small, so that it doesn't create untidiness while you are. Suppose, for example, you are working with graphs. So this will be the label which will be shown in the graph as such. So whatever you want the variable should appear as such, you should write it in the label. Next is the value, and this is one of the very, very important things, right? So where value is there, so we have to actually, you can say, put the value in the picture. Means the value as such is the value which we assign to our categorical variables. For example, just now I have given you the example of 1 equal to male, 2 equal to female. So we have to categorize and we have to tell SPSS that which value is of which type of group which we are assigning. So value label will be inserted in the SPSS output to remind about these value means also. So value labels are entered using the value columns like this. So if you will just click this value over here, you will find a window like this, which has just now appeared, right? So value labels can be of great help when you are interpreting the SPSS printout, or you can say output, although they are not essential, but it is recommended that these should be used when appropriate. It may not only it may not be appropriate to add the value labels to some of the variables, right? For example, it may not be possible to add the value label for each and every value of a continuous variable, right? So continuous variable do not need any values at all, but yeah, values are assigned to nominal and ordinal variables, or you can say those variables which are categorical in nature. So nominal and ordinal variables and the ratio variables, these are the things which have to be explained in the next part, one of the part, because this is one of the important things which we will be discussing as such, right? Now, if you want to assign, so if you are putting 1 over here and you have to put the label that you are, what value you are giving to it. So it will, and you press the button add. So if you have written 1 over here and you have written male and you add it, then it will be shown like this, 1 is equal to male. Now you put 2 over here female and again add it, it will again also show it over here that you mean that if you put 1 in place of gender, when gender is one of the variable, it is male, and 2 is the female one. Don't worry, we will be doing this. Another thing is missing value. Missing value I'm not taking now because there will be time when we'll be taking the missing values. Yes.
Sir, in value labels, whether can we assign 0 and 1? I have seen in some papers where 0 and 1 are assigned.
Of course, it can be assigned, no problem. But
means 0 is also acceptable as value.
It is acceptable, but it will be of no use at all, because whenever you are assigning anything over here as such, right, it will be depicted. But these value labels are just merely in order to say that, okay, 1 means the group of females, 2 means the group of males. For example, 1 means the people in the section 1, 2 means the people in the section B, or you can say 3 means the people in the section C. Suppose if there are 3 sections. So this will not mean more than this. So hardly matters whether you assign 2, 3 or 5 or whatsoever number you want. Okay, because we are not at all going to treat or not at all going to take mean values of these things if it is a categorical variable, right?
Okay, thank you.
So missing values we will be missing for the time being. Okay. Yeah. Next is your column format. Now this is something which is cosmetic type of thing. You can say column format, column alignment, which actually makes your data look beautiful. So this is something like you can say the ladies use lipstick, bindi and powder or something like that. So this is actually these are the cosmetic things which actually makes your data look better on the, if it is there on the SPSS sheet. So recommendation is that if you are whatever alignment you are using, you please align the data in the same way. If you are using a middle alignment, all the data should be middle aligned, or if you are using the data as a, you can say left aligned. So there are 3 lefts, right, and the center. So whatever alignment you want to use it uniformly for the entire data set. Otherwise, there will be a problem. Next is your measure, and you can say measures are the measures actually, or you can say the those things. I just talked about the labels of measurement or the scales we have just not talked about. So these will be considering here we will be considering the types of the scales which are there. So there are 4 types of scales as we know that these are nominal, ordinal, you can say interval and ratio. So these scales are there. So and tomorrow whenever we will be starting from the measures, because this is one of the very important thing which we will be doing. So SPSS actually offers only 3 options, but otherwise the scale, the you can say the measures, or you can say the scales are, or the social sciences has actually distinguished 4 scales, but SPSS doesn't distinguish between the interval scale and the ratio scales. So tomorrow we will be starting our session from here and onwards. Yeah. Meanwhile, if I can take some of the questions, it would be great. So if you have some questions, you can ask me now. Yes. Anyone? Anything? And at the end, I would like to request you all just come online with your videos so that we can have we can click one of the photographs. Yes, everyone. If yeah, somebody have a question. Yeah, Dr. Rajni, you want to ask me something?
Yes, sir. I'm having SPSS 16 version and yours is SPSS 21. So may I know the source, sir, please?
Don't worry, it hardly matters, because what the thing is, SPSS 21 and SPSS 23, these versions are supported with 64-bit computer architecture. So you do not have that. Even willingly also, if I want you to install, you will not be able to install it, right?
Okay.
But at the same time, I would tell you, you will not face any problem at all if you are having even SPSS 16. The things are same. The versions have actually been, even the present version going in the market is SPSS 28, which is there, right? And I have done my PhD on SPSS 8.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't worry about it. Yeah. Anyone else? Any other question? Yeah. Any question by anyone else? No questions? So everyone please come on with your video so that we can click one photograph for today's session. Great. It is really nice seeing everyone over. Wow. Great. Priyanka ji, are you there? Great. Just hold on. Just hold on. Just hold on. Just hold on, everyone. So I'm just taking and yes. So here we go. So we'll write it by today's date. It's 4th 2021. So daily we will be having a photograph, and I will instantly post it to your Teams itself now only, right? So if you have a chat box, you can just see it now itself in the chat box itself. You will receive it, right? Or otherwise, don't worry, it will be on your WhatsApp group also. But for the time being, I'm sending it over here from my computer. Okay, so yes, yeah. Yes, this is for everyone now. Okay, so you can see it. Can you see it in the chat box itself? Right, guys?
Sir, we don't have access to chat box actually.
Okay, you don't have the access. Fine. So what we will. That's why we have kept this WhatsApp group on. I was knowing this, that there will be a problem, but those who are having, they can already access it over here, and I will forward it to you on your WhatsApp as soon as we will be logging off. Right. So once again, I hope you are learning. So any feedback for today's class? Any quick feedback from any of you, if you wish to? Though it will be too early for me to take this feedback at this moment of time. But still, if you have some question or some suggestion, you can please tell.
So the start was really good, and we are expecting more in upcoming days.
Surely, definitely, Dr. Right. Anyways, thank you guys. So we will we'll see you tomorrow, and let me just download the attendance.